Hey guys, welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today I thought about showing sort of the daily and weekly routine I have in the game, especially since I know a lot of players are curious about what to do once they hit the content wall by around AR 45. Admittedly, there's not much, but just like how it is in most single player games, it comes down to what kind of goals you make for yourself aside from what the game makes you do. If I were to be completely honest, there's actually still plenty to do in the game after you complete all the quests, main storyline, exploration, and whatnot. It's just not the way most people expect when it comes to actively playing a game for, like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. What makes this game a little frustrating to many is how everything is pretty much time gated because of resin. You have to spend resin to grind experience, you have to spend resin to fight bosses, you have to spend resin to farm artifacts, mora, what have you. They did lighten the load on the resin requirement by making the entire Dragonspine event completely resin free, which is awesome because I'm sure it gave a lot of us something to actively do, and therefore we were able to play much more of the game. But of course, once the event ended, we're back to the same old stuff. Anyway, for those of you wondering what to do once you explored most of the things that are available in the game, here's a quick video showing you what I like to do day to day and throughout the week. The first thing I do when logging in is what pretty much everyone does, get through the daily commissions and expeditions, which should take no more than 10 minutes at best. It's recommended to run a double animal party since it lets you move around a little quicker to get them done. In terms of what to prioritize for expeditions, I initially started out with 3 crystal ore expeditions. There's 2 in Mondstadt and 1 in Liyue. Then the remaining 2 slots I had left were used to collect meat and matsutake since I was trying to cook a bunch of healing and attack dishes, but that's mostly a personal thing, not everyone cooks in the game. After that, I did switch back to mora. The max is only about 5,000 or 10,000 for 2, which is a pittance, but everyone knows just how scarce mora can be outside of events, so we just have to take what we can get. By the way, just a public service announcement in case not everyone has been made aware of this, you can now run units for expedition without losing access to them during that time. So for everyone who was complaining about Kuching having a useless passive skill, you can now deploy her on expeditions while still using her at the same time. That's a very appreciated quality of life change. But afterwards, you gotta spend your resin. You get about 180 resin naturally every 24 hours, so that's 4 condensed resin or 4 bosses plus an extra 20. Usually what I like to do is at the end of every Sunday, I make a plan for what I want to do for the next week. For example, recently I summoned Chi-Chi, who I've been waiting to pull for a very long time, and so my plan for this week was to get her grinded up to hopefully around level 80. The Dragonspine event I believe gives you about 2.5 million mora overall for free, so I was able to upgrade pretty much anything I wanted. Mondays I spend all my 180 resin on the 3 weekly bosses, the Wolf, Storm Terror, and Child, just to get them out of the way. What I like about Mondays is that you can get a crap load of battle pass levels out of the way in one day, because if you go to the weekly missions, you can get through the weekly boss missions, the spending 500,000 mora mission, cooking 20 items, forging 20 items, beating 10 boss opponents, completing 3 requests and 3 bounties. You can get all that done in maybe about an hour or 2, which is 4 levels. On the days I don't need to farm for talent and or weapon ascension materials, I go straight for artifacts. I personally go for artifacts before I level up the character because I already have a functional party, and usually artifact farming is a little bit more exciting for me because I like to see what I get. If you watch my account showcase video I posted last week, you'll know that I've been trying to work on my support characters. I kind of over-invested on my DPS units, so I've been hitting up the Valley of Remembrance domain to pick up Viridescent Veneer for Venti and Sucrose, and the Maiden set for Chi-Chi to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Haven't been the luckiest in terms of enhancements, but I managed to get a decently working set. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go after the Cryo Regis Vines and EXP Ley Lines to level her up to around 80. Most support units don't have to go past like any higher than level 70, but screw it, I'm a completionist. I think the best way to go about it is to target 1 or 2 characters per week and only work on them in terms of artifacts, talents, and weapon materials. This week I went for Animo units and Chi-Chi, next week it might be Bennett and Mona or Zhongli and Ningguang. Because Dragonspine opened up recently, I spent a lot of my day-to-day exploring the area, trying to do all the quests and dailies, so that ate up a good about 2 weeks. But usually what I do is log on, get my commissions, battle pass, expeditions and whatnot, then I go after my resin. One thing I think not many people do though, on a daily basis, is collect resources, because if you watch my Dailies guide video, I talked about how it's important to have something and not need it, than to need it and not have it. This isn't so much a problem for free-to-play players as it is for pay-to-wins, since the former gets units at a much slower rate, but let's just say for example you got Chongyun, right? At the current moment you may not need him, but later on you most likely will. So if you haven't yet, you should be collecting Core Lapis. I've been somewhat neglecting my Ascension material farming, mostly because I started getting lazy, but since I'm working on Chi-Chi, I've been collecting violet grass every day this week. And on days where I don't feel like playing League of Legends too much or any other game, I would pass the time by turning on a movie or watching an anime or some YouTube videos, and I would farm bosses like Abyss Mages, Ruin Guards, and Fatui agents because you often need a ton of those drops for both character and weapon ascension, and don't underestimate how expensive they can be because once you get to level 70, 80, 90, you're going to need dozens and dozens of them just for one ascension. So I recommend if you haven't been doing that right now, you should, because if you get any unit in the future that needs a bunch of them, you'll go through them like candy. There's still a bunch of quests I have yet to do in the world, but once you get past AR50, there really isn't a rush to increase your adventure rank anymore. That's really it. Log on, do your commissions and expeditions, get your battle pass work done, try to meet that 10,000 experience quota every week, and then spend your resin prioritizing like 1 or 2 characters per week. Then after that, if you have more time to kill, you should be farming the character ascension drops. Here and there, I would also farm some enemies too. All in all, my total playtime on Genshin per week is probably less than 12 to 15 hours, which is definitely not a long time. I do wish I could play the game for a lot longer, but there's not much to do, so you just do what you can and that's about it. I'm kinda used to that because I played a lot of gacha games where I mostly log on, do my dailies, use up my energy, and that's about it. As well as in the past, I used to play an MMORPG called MapleStory, and there would just be some days where I didn't feel like training, so I would just log on, do my dailies, and I wouldn't play for that day. It's usually why a lot of players have a time sink game like League of Legends, Apex, Valorant, what have you, just to keep them entertained for the rest of the day. Not that I'm shilling for MiHoYo, but I think it's also important to remember that Genshin is extremely young. If you start playing the game for the first time like a year from now, by then, it'll maybe be on version 1.6 or 1.7, so there's going to be way more content for you to explore to keep you busy if you start later. It's just from us, since we've been here from the beginning of the game, it feels like there's nothing to do because every time something new happens, we get through it very quickly, and we're back to the same situation we were at before. But again, I treat this game like it's a daily routine, sort of like how you would go grocery shopping or do your laundry, things like that. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below what your daily routine on the game is. If there's something I don't do that you think I should, please let me know so I can get started on it right away. But I hope you enjoyed watching. I know it was kind of a shorter video compared to my other ones, but I've been getting a little lazy during winter break, so I promise to pick the pace up again with my usual uploads. If you'd like to support my channel, best way you can do so is like, comment, share, subscribe, join my Discord server, follow me on my social medias, consider donating to my Patreon page if you feel like it, and check out my other videos if you haven't watched them yet. I have made quite a few guide videos for Genshin, so if you still are looking for information and you're wondering what you should be doing, consider giving that a look. I have a playlist for that too. That's gonna be it though. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon for the next video. Take care.